Hey guys, it's Jeff from San Diego Seed Company. Welcome back to the channel. I am in my office today. We are talking about the calendar. Now, a lot of you guys have bought this calendar year after year. We're so happy that people buy it because we make it to make sure that anytime that you buy seeds from this company, when you get them at home, you know exactly what to do with them. And that is exactly what this calendar does. It gives you every piece of information that you need to know to grow crops, to grow food, to grow a healthy garden. That's why you're here, and that's why we wanted to open it up today to show you exactly what's in here, and then you can make a choice whether you want to buy it or not. But before we get into all things calendar, I want to remind you guys to definitely subscribe to this channel, hit the bell so you're notified anytime we put out new content. We make this channel to educate you guys, much like the calendar, to make sure that you know what you're doing in the garden and you can have fun. So let's get into it. First things first, let's look at the top. Zone 9 and 10, Urban Farmers 2024 Gardening Calendar. Zone 9 and 10 is the most important part. If you're not in Zone 9 or 10, you can follow what's in the calendar, but it's not going to be exactly right because we are breaking it down by the month, sometimes by the moon phase. And if you're not in the right zone, that means your frost dates are off, the seasonal temperatures and when you get rain are off. We really make this for 9 and 10 only because that's what we know. That's where we grow. That's where we've gathered most of our gardening knowledge is in these zones. So if you're in zone 9 and 10, this is for you. If you're not in zone 9 and 10, maybe move here. It could be worth it. Crazier things have happened. Once you get through all the months, we highly recommend to take the actual meat of the calendar and take it off, and then what you're going to have is a really cool wall calendar with a quick glance planting chart. You might be able to see here the top half are all your veggies and fruits, and the bottom half are flowers. And across this x-axis you've got January through December, and then notes for each crop. Once you have this calendar in your hands, this will make a lot more sense. But we've got early season, main season, and late season. So that's going to show you what month to plant which crop all at once. Now if you flip over to January, which we'll get into more later, it does show you what to plant in January. But I find this wall calendar very useful when I'm coming up with my spring plan or my fall plan. I can look at this and say, okay, I know that I want to plant broccoli. What months can I start it? Boom, broccoli, August, September, October is the beginning. November, December, January is main season, and then I'm really pushing it February to March. So this is a super handy tool that you're going to get when you buy the calendar. Okay, so let's just open this sucker up to January, just because that's the month we're in. I kind of want to go section by section and show you guys everything that is in here. So the top of every month, you're going to get a big section at the top, which is all education. This specific month, we're talking about seed starting. And if you buy the calendar, it's probably going to be the first month that you open it up to. And seed starting is one of the first things that you're going to need to know to be a gardener, so you can get away from having to buy those plants at the big box stores or at your local nursery. One thing that I really love that we push for a lot is to QR code to some YouTube videos. Oh God, we all love this. Binge watch seed starting videos. So we've done a lot of seed starting videos. So there's a playlist here, organic raised bed soil mix recipe, and starting seeds indoors versus outdoors. Now that's just January. If you open up every month, you're gonna get this no matter what month it is. Now if you look over here to the right, it says time to order for planting this month or next. Remember how I said zone 9 and 10 is really important? If you were to order some of these in different zones, you would be completely late or early to the game. So again, remember, I'm going to probably say this a lot in this video, zone 9 and 10 only. But for January, we've got our cosmic purple carrots, our crimson giant radish, purple plum radish, and our Mayan jaguar lettuce. You'll notice a lot of these are kind of exotic plants. What Brigitte has chosen to do is pick some of our favorite best-selling varieties, because when you first start gardening, you're used to seeing a red radish or an orange carrot. The gardening world is so much more vast than that. So check out here on the top right to see the cool new varieties that San Diego Seed Company offers. Okay, here's something that often gets overlooked, and if my dad were here, he could talk on end about this, but that is planting by the moon. Now, why do I bring that up? because we took the time to put the phases of the moon, not every phase, but when it's waning and waxing is really important. If you go back through history, farmers have had much more success when planting underground crops at a certain time versus above ground crops at a certain time. Check out this calendar and keep note of these, because it could take you from being an okay gardener to a really great gardener. Here's something cool for the San Diego people who buy this. This is not going to apply to, I don't know, Florida or Northern California, but in San Diego, this part blows my mind because I'm from the Midwest. In January, we only get 1.8 inches of rain, and that's one of the rainiest months. Only 4.6 rainy days. But then what's really cool here is daylight hours, and if you were to flip through the calendar, we preach it all the time. Less sunlight means less plant growth, more sunlight means more plant growth. You can actually see the average daylight hours per month. I just think that's really cool. So check that out when you get your calendar. Okay, and if you look down here, we've got our January garden to-do list. Let me just read these. Plant cool season annual flowers. Tie cauliflower leaves over newly forming heads to get pure white heads. Start planting your warm season. So these are things that are often forgotten. Sometimes you can get in the habit of gardening. You got your plants in, they're going, and you kind of stay hyper-focused on cool season. This reminds you to start planning your spring garden because February, March are around the corner. So this garden to-do list is really valuable for me. You know, I've been gardening for years. I still hang this up in my office, and it saved my butt quite a few times. Okay, so we're almost at the end of January. Here is probably our most used information that we put out. Anytime we put out a what to plant in pick the month YouTube video, it gets way more views than any other content that we put out, because knowing what to plant is like the first and hardest step, especially if you don't know anything about cool season versus warm season, what zone am I in, soil temperature, all these things. If you're a nerd like me, I don't want to say alas, I'm not a nerd, you can go out and figure those things out, and you will learn those over time. But when you first start, you want to know, what can I plant? And so I'm going to go through here. Beets, I don't like that. Broccoli, I love. Cabbage, okay. So you can literally go down and say, what do I like to eat? I'm going to go buy seeds. I can go up here, search for those on the website, buy them, and you're all set. So it's not just vegetables, but it's also flowers and herbs, all in January. Okay, last thing I want to say about January, and almonds for that matter, if you look in the bottom right hand corner, there's a coupon with coupon codes. So yeah, it costs money to buy the calendar, but if you're serious about gardening and you're buying stuff all throughout the year, these are going to be invaluable. Well, they will be able to be valued. 10% is the exact value that you can apply to seed starting mix in January, but don't miss that. It's in the bottom right corner, so when you get your calendar, if you already have one, make sure you're going to check those and use those when you buy stuff online. The video is not over, do not worry. I know a lot of you were expecting this. We're gonna do a giveaway. What's the giveaway? We are gonna give away some seeds. No, just kidding. We're gonna give away the 2024 calendar to 3 people who comment on this video. Okay, so how do you win one of 3 calendars? Easy. Comment on this video, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and subscribe to our newsletter, which is going to be in the description, because that's how we're going to announce who wins the calendar. So go ahead and comment if you've bought the calendar before, what's your favorite thing about it? And if you haven't bought the calendar before, what are you looking forward to learning most?